What's up guys, Gary here with JMVFX. Welcome to a new tutorial based very much on the modeling one we've just done, and it's all about how to make different shapes that are kind of in machine parts, because a lot of the times you're building things like machine parts and you'll often see stuff like this where you've got, you know, cylindrical objects which have got screw threads, and all of that you can pretty much do very simply. The screw thread, you can make a screw thread inside of Blender really quickly, and spheres and extrusions, and that's not a problem. But just occasionally you come across slightly more difficult shapes. Those aren't really that difficult because again they're pretty much simpler shapes like cylinders and spheres. But then you get things like this, and when I say this I mean this over here. Wait for it. That. And you'll kind of look at that and think, well, how do I go about building that? Because it's got some beveled edges and it's got some curved edges and it's a big flat side and it's got a big bevel on the top and it's got this big circular hole here. And this is where some people can kind of flounder, because hard surface modeling is basically fundamentally most 3D stuff you'll see. As much as you would see the character stuff, you see lots of stuff that's actually built and rigged. I mean, a transformer essentially is like thousands of these things with a big casing over the top, and that's kind of what I'm talking about here, is these sorts of shapes. So what I've actually done is I've gone into Critter. I've taken a screen grab, gone into Critter, and I've kind of undistorted it ish. It's not perfect. And then we can start to look at, if we do that, we can start to look at, you know, what sort of shapes there are here. Now, as I say, this isn't a perfect line, but if I just, what I can do is I can do this, and you'll see there's like a line there, and then if I start here and just drag that down with a finger on shift, you can see there's a line down there, and same thing, let's just do that and then do that and then do that and then draw down, and there's another line. So you can start to see there's the structure within the structure, even though some of this stuff you think, well, that seems to be very high. You know, there's still kind of structure in that, and a lot of it makes perfect sense when you start to break it all down. And this is how this sort of thing is built. You don't just build it in one big go, but you don't start from nothing. You basically start with a cube. And so what I thought I'd do is I would go through the motions of showing you how to build this. So I'm just going to do it now. It shouldn't take too long. So I've got an image of this already. So let's minimize this and let's get rid of that, and let us go into Blender. Yeah, here it is. So I've got a new scene here. So I'm just going to just go straight in. And I'm going to go here, and I want to go into the view. I want to add an image plane to this. So actually to this view, let's go to the right-hand view. Oh, yeah, there's the right-hand view. And I'm going to add into this an image as a background. And let's go down to, I know a lot of people kind of go, oh, just import an image as a plane, but you can't really see it when you're in wireframe. But this one you can. So if we go into JMVFX, and then we go into tutorials, and then we'll go into our machine part, ref, and let's go undistorted mesh 2. Remember, it's not perfect, but you can see there it is, and it's in this view, in the right hand view. Tilt it and it's gone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Alt Z. So I've basically turned my work area of the solid area transparent slightly. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to bring it and try and put it roughly in the middle. Now we've got some lines here that I've put in, but they're not perfect, but that's okay. And I'm not really concerned about the size right now. I'm just going to work to try and build it to this size. I can always scale it down later, but I like the size of this here, and I can. It's sometimes if you're going to put things like bevels, for example, and stuff, sometimes it's better to work larger and then shrink to the right size. So I'm going to take this cube. Now I've got that there, and let's do this. Let's press. Let's press Alt. Got there in the end. Sorry, my throat's all over the place. I'm going to go G, Z, and I'm going to lift this up to our bottom line here, and then I'm going to scale this in a bit in the Y. So let's go S, Y, bring it in to about there, and let's take these points here on the top, and let's go GZ, and let's lift those up to there. And you started to see what I mean by simple standardized shapes, because they are. So I'm going to move that to there, which is fine where it was actually. Let's pop it there, and let's put another one down here like this and pop that there. So if I shoot it out of the way, you can see what's going on. Let's go to polygon mode. Let's pick this one and this one. Let's go back to 3 and let's extrude along the normals. Okay, so let's just push these out until they are there. And that's there you are, you're done. All done, all finished. Well done. Congratulations. No, that's fine. It's not right. But we're on the right line, so let's just want to shift this down a little bit. I'm going to select all of these. And I'm going to go back to, let's take it out of camera view and just go into here. And I'm going to just take these, I'm going to just scale them all in because our machine part fundamentally doesn't look anything like that deep. If we look at it, if I just turn off the mesh for a second, and you can see this, it's not that deep. It's not that deep at all. And it's got another little circle on top as well. Do not forget. So we're going back. Let's put the polygons back on, the mesh back on. And we've got this object here, which we'll probably need to cut out at some point. So let's start putting in some of these other edges that we need in order to create these other shapes. And I'm going to put that one there. Let's have a look at the loop and slide there. That's at minus 0.67, and let's put this over here, and hopefully that should be at not the same. But we can deal with that. What we're going to do is I'm going to put a line there in the middle, and I can see that's definitely not in the center. So let me do this. I'm going to put a line in the middle there. That just jumped. I watched it do it. There we go. And let's go back to our view here, and let's go to here, and that's at minus 0.309. And that's one here, and I'm going to put that at 0.309. So that's obviously that. So I'm going to go to 0.309 plus 5. No, not 0.309 plus 0.5. 0.309 plus 0.5. No, it's not doing it. Ah. So how are we going to get minus 0.305? And that's in the same position as the last one, but on the opposite side. So that's now completely balanced. Now we can start to look here in relation to our circle. And trust me, we are going to be building that circle. And I'm going to start adding in some subdivisions, but not that many, because there are other things that we need to do before we do that circle. And this is when you start to work out how you do these things, because we've got a big bevel here that we would like to create. So we're going to have to do that. So what I'm going to do is going to press Alt, Control, and Q, so I get all these views up, so I can see them. I'm going to go into the quad view. I'm just going to basically turn on Sync, Zoom, and Pan, so those all kind of work together. And let's just turn off our transparency. Just press Alt Z to toggle it back. And I'm going to start adding in here some bevels. So I'm going to select that one, and 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 that one, because that's what we have here. We have other bevels in these corners. Now, these ones aren't as big, so actually, realistically speaking, to do these ones at the same time as that one, it's a silly idea. But let's put these two like this, and I'm going to go Control and B, and I'm going to pull until I get somewhere where I think they're about right, which looks to be about there. I'm going to shrink that down a little bit so it's not going into that corner. I'm going to increase the segments, and you can see now they kind of match straight away. They are now matching, which is brilliant. That's nice. And then we've got these other edges and new vertices, which we will worry about as we're going along. But it is part of the building process, which is what I wanted to do. I'm not going to do this one on the top. I'm not ready for that one yet. So I'm now going to pick that edge, and that edge, and that edge, and that edge. And I'm going to do this then, get my cursor close to this, go Control and B, and I'm going to pull these about there. Let's just move this around. Does that look about right? Let's see if we can't get this a bit more accurate. There we go, that looks about right. Always kind of happy with that. There you go. Now obviously we've got some very, very bad edges here, but we'll sort those out, as I say, as we're going along. So what we need to do now is we need to kind of like clean up some of the stuff that we've got here. And by doing that, what I mean is adding more vertices in, but in a bit more of a practical way. So they'll join across here rather than have it looking like this. We'll have these, we'll go across to here and there and there and there, and they'll just cut through the geometry. So what we're going to do is we're going to come out of this quad view, first of all. We've got those ones there, we're happy with those. So that's kind of accurate enough. Let's go to edit mode here, and we're going to go to the cut tool, the knife tool. I'm going to there, to there, and we're going to go there, to there. And this seems like a bit of a boring way of doing things, but in fact, you might notice it's not that boring because we're not doing it on both sides. Oh no, no, we are doing this literally on one side. Oh God, that's a mess. We're literally just doing this on one side of the geometry. There's no point on doing it to both. What we're going to do here is we're going to look at this. That one could go from there to there, and there to there, there to there. In fact, even better, we're going to have to do it to 1/4 of the geometry, and I will explain why again in a second. So we'll end up destroying and getting rid of some of the other pieces here. But let's just do this here, get that one down to here, and then we can take this one across to there, I think it is. Yep, that's right. And then this one can go across to the one below. This one can go across to the one below, and so on until I've done all of them. And I will speed this up and talk, so we don't have to talk through all of this. So that's, let's just go back and just pop a wireframe on this bad boy. So you can see I'm just going to delete some edges here now. So let's go into edit mode and we can pick this edge and that one and that one and that one and that one and that one, and we're going to control delete. And then we can also do the same thing here. We can pick this one. Oh, hang on, I missed a bit. There we go. So let's pick this one here, to there, to there, to there, to there, control delete, and let's go delete to there, and let's take this one, delete, and then we've got all quads again, which is nice. But what we're going to do is going to remove the ones on this side. Let's just go Alt Z, just do that. Let's delete all of those, delete the faces. I'm also going to do it here as well. I'm going to delete those faces and do it here again. I should be able to get all of these in here. If I can just select all of these. Come on. That's just selecting my edges. That's what's going on. I selected edges, not faces. There you go. So select all of those. I'm going to delete those as well. So we've kind of got the quarter of one. We've just got 1/4 of this thing, which is fine. I'm not even remotely worried about that because that's absolutely perfect. And I'm going to take that face and I'm going to leave it there. I was going to delete it, but I'm not going to. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back out of here. And I'm going to mirror this piece of geometry. So with the mirror tool, this is where we start to use a little bit of some of the stuff that's in here. And we're going to mirror it on the Y, not on the X, like that. And we're going to merge it. Let's just show, let's increase the merging until it's just, there we go, just perfect. And we'll apply this. So that's the one side of our object. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to have a look at the other things we've got to do in this edge, because everything else was fine. I just want to now start cutting a hole in here. So we are going to add some more vertices in here by basically adding some edge loops. So we're going to do this and this, and we're going to do this and this, and we'll do that and that, and we shall also put some there, 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 and why not? Do we put some there? Probably don't need them, but we've got these ones here, which is fine. We'll make a little hole, that's good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make a circle in here, and again, this is not a hard thing to do. It's just going to go, press 3, not 0, Gary. I'm going to select these vertices here. Let's do this. If I select these vertices that are here, or even those faces that are there, and I'm going to go press the loop tools in this, I'm going to go circle, and that's just turn those into a circle. Now you can see it should actually be at the top of it should be there. It's gone a bit bigger, but that's fine. We just scale this down like this and bring it down to here like this. So I can now see that's a circle, and I'm just going to delete those faces just like that. So they're gone. They are history. Let's go back here so you can see what's going on here. We're building the whole structure of one side, basically. Now what I need to do as well is I need to get the edges off these corners because they are kind of chamfered. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to add the chamfer here in this. So I'm going to pick that corner, and press Control Shift and B and pull. And that's giving me a round edge, which I don't want because of all the segments that are in there. I just want that. So let's just do that. And let's reduce the size of that a bit. And the bottom one doesn't have the chamfer. So that's good. So we've now got pretty much the base of that shape. We need to cut out the whole of the top. Two minds about that, but let's just do that now. So what we're going to do is we're going to select, and again, we're going to do the same thing as we did with kind of the circle, but also with those chamfered edges. I'm going to select these faces here. I'm going to delete them like that. There you go. And I'm going to go to the edges. I'm going to pick that one, that one, that one, that one. And we're going to go Control, Shift and B. And we're going to pull down here until we get a little bit of a chamfer. Now, I'm going to increase the segments a little, like that. Maybe let's just leave it at 2, should be fine for what we've got to do. And I'm now going to basically give us some more quads because we've got a mess there now. Now, I could literally split this thing in half and just cut across, do them on one side and the other, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do them quickly, all in one go, because that's the kind of guy I am. There you go. Let's do that. So that's a bunch of squares. That is a bunch of squares. And this is kind of similar to the bit we were doing with the camera, I think. I'm not quite sure whether it was that evident with the camera, but it's kind of what we're going to do here so you can see what we did with the camera. I'm going to take this corner to that corner, so I've now got a square. This corner to that corner, so I've now got a square. This corner to that corner. Basically, if you count the vertices 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's actually a 6-sided polygon, but the moment we go from here to here, we split them up in the middle. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's so it's all quads as far as the eye can see, apart from here, which I haven't joined together yet. There we go. Lovely. So that essentially is our base side. So what do we do now? Well, we need to now extrude this out. So what we can do is we can do this with a mirror, and we can basically have the mirror side like that, and then basically delete the history and blend them together. Or what we can also do is we can add a Solidifier modifier, and we can just take the thickness out. So if we look at this from the top view, we can judge roughly where we need to be. So I think, where are we? I think that's roughly where it is, but that's okay. We'll just make it 1 meter for the sake of argument. And let's go object and let's go set the origin to the geometry. And that's obviously not working properly because all of the locations are wrong. So let's go object, apply all the transforms, and that puts it in the middle. And let's go add set origin to geometry. No. Let's do it this way. I will take these edges. Oh, I know what it is, of course. I haven't baked it out, that's why. So if I then go with the Solidifier, let's go apply and add set origin to geometry. It puts it where it considers the middle to be. We can now see where the middle is, and we can set this to 0. So that's right, and that, and that. Let's go to our side view again, and we can see that we put the origin down there. This now needs lifting up, all of this element here. Let's go to edit mode, select everything, and let's go GZ, move all this up to where we need it to be, which is here. We can see pretty much everything is kind of correct, apart from the fact now that we actually need to do some other changes to this. Now, if we look at the picture again, in 3, if I turn off the mesh, and we zoom in a little, you'll see that this has got a cut in the ring there, but also we've got some wedges cut out of here. Plus we have a bevel on the top and a hole in the top that will come down into this area here. So what we need to do now is, and I've noticed I'm not booleaning any of these because that way, I know it's really fast and accurate now, but it still gives you far too many edges and stuff. So we're going to go back into our object node. Well, let's turn on the mesh, spin this around a bit, and I think we decided that that was about the right thickness. Did we decide that? That's about the right thickness, yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is, first and foremost, is we are going to add some divisions into the side. So let's turn off the semi-transparency, and let's add some edge divisions in here so we actually get to put in those pieces, those little chunks that are missing on the that are cutting out of here. So we're going to do this, and let's increase the edge cuts, and I think probably that actually might be about right. Let's have a quick look. I think that probably is about right, actually. Okay, so let's go back to our view, and now what we're going to do is we're going to start, and we're going to delete some stuff. But firstly, before we do that, I'm going to put some edge divisions in there. Same here, just do them in the middle. And I'm going to also add a little fix in there, just so we have these as proper full loops. Because sometimes you won't get a full loop because you've got a shape that's got more than 4 sides. In this instance, you can see it's got 1, 2, 3, 4. It had 5 sides, which is why it wasn't able to do the looping. So we're doing that there. So we've now got something which is kind of a bit more correct in terms of taking the edge out. And I'm going to go into edit mode. I'm going to select the faces, and I'm going to select all of these ones down here. That one, the same here, which is the first one. Yep. Don't do. Oh, I can just press Control and pick down to the ones that I want to delete. There we go. And let's go delete faces. And now what I'm going to do is, obviously I've got a chamfer in this corner, which means I've got kind of like 2 on the top. I've only got 1 on the bottom here. So I'm going to, and now we have a 5-sided piece here as well. So let's go down here, start this, go down to there and there, and let's do the same on the other side. If we don't get it absolutely perfect, sometimes that's not a problem. And I am now going to, I'm not going to use the polybuild tool. I am going to select this edge and that edge, and I'm going to press F. And that's filled in that gap, but it's not giving me any divisions. So I'm now going to do edge and edge loop down there, an edge loop there, edge loop there, and, oops, and then one there, and then one there, and that will, so that gives me kind of like a few more vertices to play with, because I now need to then merge these together. So I'm going to go merge at the last. So we're always getting them to match that edge. Pressing M to get the merge. That one and then that one. Merge at last. Merge them at last. And that's not merged. There you go. What'd you say? Yeah, I'll be with you in a bit. No, thank you. So let's select these two here. Whoops. And I'm just going to fly around this so I can see it from the other side. And let's go merge those at the center. There we go. Let's come back out here. That one, that one. Merge at the first because I've collected the first one. That one, there we go. And now I'm going to do the same again, pretty much. I'm going to select this edge and this edge, and I'm going to press F to fill that down. I could also do bridge and put in edge divisions, but I'm just going to do it this way. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to do this, which is, it's just nice and speedy, which is to pick that edge and then go F, 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 because it fills down into those gaps, which is really quite nice. And if we look at this from the top, we should see that as a perfectly straight edge, which is good. I'm now going to cheat, basically. I'm going to put in an edge loop here, which takes it all the way around, you might notice. And I'm going to put one in the middle here, and I'm going to put one in the middle here. And I'm going to do exactly the same as I did before. I'm going to delete some faces so I can keep everything actually beautiful and accurate. So let's go back to this view here. And let's press Alt Z for semi-transparent. I'm going to select these faces and I'm going to delete those faces. And I'm now going to select, let's go properly to the front. These, no, let's select, no, I'm going to select these faces and delete those faces. So we've now got this kind of like corner here. If I just come out of that zone there you go. So I've got everything I kind of need for 1/4. So let's add a mirror modifier and let's also set that to merge. It should be merging basically. We go to object mode, we'll be able to see, because if you'll see there's practically no merge, you won't see it. You'll see that line is thick, but that line is not thick, it's not an edge. It's now merged. So if I turn the merge off, it should show it. It's not really showing it very well, actually. It must be so perfect. So perfect. Let's add another mirror modifier here. Let's change this one to Y and turn that off X. And now we've got all those lovely edges kind of as we want them. We will be needing to add some more, though, very quickly. We're almost done, by the way, just so you know. So one other thing I've got to do, which is the last thing, which is definitely the 100% Blender solution to one other final thing. But let me just make this a proper mesh. Let's convert that to a mesh to get rid of all of that all in one go. And now all we need to do is cut a hole in the top and make it circular. So I'm going to go to the top view. I'm going to add some more edge loops. So as you can see, we've got a bunch there already, but not enough. Everything else here is fine, but not enough for the top. So let's go to 7. Let's go to edit mode and let's put in edge loops. Put one there, and I think that potentially could be enough. But just in case, I'm going to put 2 more there, and these aren't merged. Ooh, they aren't merged. Yes, that's worrying, because we need them to be merged. In fact, now I look at them, I can see they're not merged. Oh dear, dear, dear. Because if I end up going to edit mode and I change and pick this vertex here and I move it, big hole. Okay. So we need to merge these together. Now there is a way to do this, and I'm going to remind myself of it very quickly. What we have to do is we have to go into the mesh and we have to do a cleanup, and we have to do merge by distance. That's what we do. So let's just select everything first of all. And let's go mesh, clean up, and we're going to merge by distance. And we're going to pop that up a value. You can see there's all sorts of things going on there. Let's make it a smaller value. And I want to be able to see the change on these dots. So let's go all of those. And let's go mesh, and let's go clean up. We're going to merge by distance. And that value is far too big, so 0.01. 0.02, no, 0.01, 0.01. That should do it by the looks. Let's go to object mode. Let's go back. That looks nice and tidy and fixed. So let's go back here to edit mode, pick this point and move. There you go, that's all done, beautiful. So let's go back to our view where we can see our image, and it's kind of roughly here. So where are we? Let's just select these so we can see where we are. Let's go back out of this view. So it's these points along here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's okay, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go 1. Let's pick that one and that one to 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 that one. There we go. And I'm going to deselect those 4 and those 4 because it's kind of circular as it is. And let's go to the loop tools and go circle. That's nice. And then we need to think about going down straight away through this to the one below. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at where my edges are. So we've got one in the middle, and then we had another one, and then one's either side. So let's very quickly pop those in. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and 1 and 2. So we've now got the same number in here as we have outside of here. I'm going to pick in here. I'm going to pick these. Did I go all the way in? I went to that third one. There, to that, to there, to there, to there, to there, to there, to there. And let's do another circle. So we can see that one as well. And if I now go 2, it should have the same edges. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, that's both got 16 edges, which is great. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the top view, and I'm going to make it so it's transparent, so I can check to see if these are the same size, and they're not quite. So because they are, I already know they've got the same number of faces. Just scale this up until it matches, which is the nearest, damn it. And let's go delete those faces. And I'll do the same up here on the top. Let's just go back to the solid mode. Just select these, and I'm going to delete the faces. And then I'm going to pick edges, and I'm going to pick this edge and this edge, and I'm going to go F for fill. I'm going to pick that edge, this edge here, sorry, and go fill, 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 just F. There you go. So we've now basically got that machine part pretty much completely done. All those nice bits and bobs. Now, let me just very quickly save this, because that is kind of it. I mean, it's brilliant. It's quick. It's just been done. That's great. Really nice and quick. So let's put this into machine parts, scene, and let's call it match part 01. Now, in other software, this is all fine, but you really want to just smooth off these edges. And also, don't forget, we've got to pull up this top as well. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to bevel this top bit, because it's a nice big bevel, and it's up from where we are. So let's go into edit mode, and I'm just going to very quickly go into polygon mode and pick that one, that one. I'm going to pick it with control so it actually just goes around, because what goes around comes around, like this, there, and then go that one, 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 that one. I'm going to extrude those up. In fact, nope, I'm going to do an inset first. I'm going to lift those up. There we go. And then I'm going to get this edge here. I'm going to press Alt and click it. And I'm going to press Shift and keep doing it until I get that like that. And then I'm going to go to the top view, and I'm going to scale that in. So it's the same size as the other one. Like this. There we go. That's nice. So there's our kind of finished machine part, and it's all in quads. I mean, that's nice. I like that. I'm happy with that. But the thing is that what happens is most people will put on a subdivision modifier in order to make this nice and clean. Now, in order to do that, if I put a subdivision modifier on this, you will notice that it's absolutely awful. And the reason for that is this is not a clean model. It is, but it's not renderable smoothed at render time, because, and this is the point why bevels are better than subdivisions, is that we need bevels on all of these edges. So there's more points, but it's got to be on all of these hard edges. So there's two ways of doing this. One is to go here and pick all of these edges like this. You can just go, right, I want all of these edges and I want them all to be beveled nicely and beautifully. I've got a quad there that I shouldn't have. Let's not worry about that right now. So I could select all of those, say, all the way around, and then do the same here. Select all of the ones. So the circle one. And I could, well, what I would do, and the same with all of these ones here. So I'd select those ones. Whoops, no, I wouldn't, not like that. I would select that one, that one, and 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 keep going around like this. Yep, just all like this, and select all of these edges like this. And then I would have to do a bevel on all of these because they're all the extra edges. So that's kind of where you are. You kind of this is a bit limited in things like Maya because you've got to do it this way, where you go into all of these, and I'll show you what I mean. If I press Control B and then pull a little bit, just a little bit, we start to get this little beveled edge, and that means that's something that we can actually physically control, so we can reduce the size of it. So 0.001, no, 0.01, 0.005. There you go. So we've got something like that, and then if I put the subdiv on, you'll see what happens now. Now we get a harder kind of edge. Now I've missed an edge there, obviously, but you can see how here this is looking really lovely, and this is all lovely around here. If I've just missed edges just for speed to show you what I mean, but see, I missed those ones there. So we can do that and add those, and that's lovely. That's the way you would do it normally, but we are lucky in that I can add a bevel modifier to this object. And if I'm in object mode, it's edges. And here, if I change this to %, for example, we can increase the value of this. It doesn't have to be by a huge amount. Stick another one in there, and it does it in all the right places. Isn't that nice? Because it's based on the angle of the geometry. So it gives us everything where we need to in the places that we need it. Even in here, as you can see, I can even make this, if I make it a smaller angle, see it does too much. I set that to about 45. There you go. So we should have it now pretty much on everyone where it should be. No, I need to move it up a little bit. There we go, 43. Yeah, that one will have to do. But then what happens is that when we put the subdiv on it afterwards, now we get the shape that we want. There you go. So that is our full machine part built from scratch from a box. You could have literally done it actually from a single square plane, but it's got all the cuts, all the edges, and it will render like a boss. Right, well, I hope that's been of some use to you. It isn't very difficult to do this sort of thing. It's a little bit time consuming, but as you can see, how long has that taken me? I can't even see, but not that long. Anyway, listen, I hope this is of some use to you. I will stick this one up as soon as I possibly can. And I'll speak to you soon, guys. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you hopefully in the next one.